So we have a big kitchen, a big lab where we do mess around with a lot of our new recipes and stuff. So a whole big lab across the way. This building right next to us is, we call our nest. It's kind of where we're kind of incubating a lot of ideas and stuff. It's ideation kind of territory and stuff. So.
Did I see that Chick-fil-A does some fish selections during Lent?
We do.
I read about that this week. I'd never heard that before.
We've been doing that for quite a while. On Fridays is an option.
Interesting.
For that, yeah.
All right. So
big demand for that, and so.
This is Trudy Part 3. Before I forget that part. And key lime milkshakes. I saw that.
I have not tried those yet. I saw those were going to come on the line. So are they out already?
I saw a headline about it. A friend of mine posted something on Facebook. His excitement.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
My time with Mom.
Yeah, just those last couple of years, or maybe longer. I mean, once you got back from Virginia, I know.
They came back.
Those 15 years or so were.
Yes.
12. You came back in 02-ish?
Came back in 2003. Here to 2003.
And she passed away in 14.
14.
Okay.
Dad in 15.
50.
Dad in 14.
Yeah.
She passed away in 50. July 22nd. We moved here in early August. In October, I took on the job at the director of the camp, and so I was commuting back and forth to Rome, Georgia, twice a week. So I was kind of picking up my responsibilities from that and trying to take care of Mom. Mom kind of decided to she self-selected, I guess she said, to not drive anymore. She decided she probably didn't need to, which is kind of a blessing that we didn't have to.
Was there an incident?
No, not really. She did have one car accident several years before that. It's the only car accident she ever had her entire driving career. So she said, "Don't say anything to me." You know,
yeah,
that's
a good record.
Yeah, she was in her late 70s, and she pulled out in Fayetteville and hit the side of a car. But anyway.
Well, now wait a minute. Didn't she hit a school bus?
Well, she did hit a school bus. I guess you have to count that as an accident.
I know all your stories now.
That's true. That's true. She would have to count that as a car accident for sure. That's true. That's true. But anyway, so she was dependent on somebody to get her around, and I was more than happy to do because I felt like we were trying to make up for a lot of time that we had not been together. So I told her, anytime I can take you anywhere, I'm happy to do that. Of course, she always thought I was really busy, and she hated it to inconvenience me and stuff. A lot of times she would ask one of the guys on the farm to take her, like if she wanted to go get her hair fixed or whatever. And I'd get so frustrated. I had to go over and I had to sit down with us. And Mom, sit down. Let me just tell you. Says, I'm your daughter. I've been away for 22 years. It would be nothing more exciting to me than to get you and take you over to get your hair fixed. You don't have to ride around in a truck or get somebody on these car rides to take you and stuff, And so, she says, well, and so I began to pick up, load of helping her in that way. If I had to go to the grocery store, I'd call her and say, let's go to the store together. She'd do her shopping, I'd do my shopping. So we began to spend a lot of time together. Sometimes I just drop by the house and, get a feel for what's going on in the house and how I can help her there. She's always trying to straighten through, clean through things, and it gave her an opportunity to talk, because she didn't have people around to talk to. And then I would also be sometimes it wasn't a good time for me to kind of be around. She just would be kind of quiet to herself, and so Mom says, I'll be at the house if you need me, let me know, because she always got her battery recharged by being by herself. And even, with family, as much as she loved being with family, there were just times you could tell she needed, time to herself. She taught me a lot. Then as the latter years, we were having to go to a lot of doctor's appointments. She was actually relatively healthy. It's just the basic checkups that she had to have, and with her heart condition, and she was having trouble with her eyes a little bit, having trouble with her hearing, so she had hearing aids, so we'd go and get those fixed and cleaned out, and so it felt like we were going to the dentist, we felt like we were going to the doctors regularly. But I enjoyed those times with her. Typically conversations in the car would be about what she would be seeing out the window. She would look up and she would see the clouds, and she would say, wow, look at those big fluffy white clouds that our Father has given us today to enjoy while we're on this road to Atlanta. You know, stuff, and like I would never even look up, and notice, I'd be busy thinking about the traffic or thinking about something else, but that would be what she would do, and so she would, this idea of looking up, she would always encourage me, take time to look up, Trudy, and see what the, what God has put out there for us. When we would get to the doctor's office, particularly with Dr. Wilmer, I know you had a conversation with him, but we'd almost get there, and sometimes we'd go through traffic, and it would take a while to get there, and the time we'd try to park and get her in the office, then we'd get to the waiting room and sit down, and she would say, I just don't understand why we have to do this all the time. I guess they just need to see me so I can check up. Maybe I'm just here so I can check up on them. That's what she would say. I guess I'm just here to check up on them. Just doesn't seem necessary. I have to come this often. Dr. Wilmer would let her out of the sight very often. About every month we had to be sure to be checking in with him and stuff. So she had this perspective that she was there for their benefit, not that they were there for her. And so she would always. She would want to talk more than sometimes I would want to. She would want to talk to the nurses and how are you doing? What's going on? And chit chat and stuff. On the way to the room, and they would call us back and stuff. And then she always made sure she had our guest cards to be able to give to the people on the way out. And she would, when we were sitting and waiting for the doctor, she'd be counting out. And I saw this one, I saw that one. She'd be trying to figure out how many she needed, and she'd have them close by so that when we left, she was ready to hand those out to everybody. Sometimes I thought she was, she'd kind of make a scene, going around giving to everybody, but I try to be patient, with that. So I'm kind of used to sometimes going in and out of places without kind of people even knowing who I am, sort of. She was just wanting to be helpful to other people. And always encouraging to the doctor. When Dr. Wilmer would come in to check on her, he would ask her, well, how have you been? Tell me how you've been feeling. And she said, well, why don't you tell me how you've been feeling first, and stuff. But she never liked him to ask, but she never could, she never knew exactly what he was wanting to get at, because she said, I'm fine, I'm feeling fine, there's nothing to really tell you, and so, but she wanted to know how he was doing. So I learned a lot of her way she related to people when I spent time with her like that. She had just a handful of close friends that she would want to be with, and one of them you met, Miss Harbin, Helen Harbin, that came over with her daughter and daughter-in-law. And so she would say, I think it'd be fun to get together with Helen. So I would call and see if we could arrange for lunch. And so typically, both Helen and her daughter, Melanie, the four of us would get together and do lunch. So we would sit so that Mother was across from her friend and Melanie was across from me. So we would have our conversation and they would have their little conversation, with themselves. And then you met Bonnie Wiggins, who's mother is Martha Baker, a good friend of Mother's, and we'd get them together from time to time, so I would take her to her friends. One of the big things that I remember about my mom is she was always wondering what she could get for her Sunday school ladies. She's in the senior adult class now at church, and she would always thinking about gifts that she'd want to give them. Whenever Mom and Dad would go on trips, she used to try to bring something back for all of her ladies. She called them, in her class. And so in this period of time, she was the member of the class, and they were doing a lot of traveling. And so she would think, well, Valentine's is coming up. I ought to get something for all of them. She always felt like she wanted to do something multiple times throughout the year. And so it was always we'd go to Michael's, and she'd walk the aisles trying to figure out what she could put together. And usually she was going to pick up items and go home and make something for them. A pot of something, flowers, some type of craft, artsy kind of thing that she would make. One time I told her, well, Mom, you've done a lot of good painting. Why don't you paint some little small paintings for them to give them as gifts, But she was always thinking about others. I thought that was really neat, how she wasn't looking to buy any expensive gifts for them or whatever, but just something nice, something thoughtful for all of them was a big deal. Big deal for her. Yeah.
Now, before I lose track, she had already had a heart attack years earlier. How old was she then?
2001, do the math.
Okay, so she had a heart attack in 2001 before you guys moved back.
Yes, we were in Richmond 2 years before we were moving back
so
here.
Dr.
I was here when it happened. It was the dedication for our children's center right here, the Jeanette Cathy Children's Center. It's our daycare center for our staff. So, we have that here on campus. Just as you drive in the main gate on the left, we have a full complex for